Girls, well, it's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I know a lot of you are observing the fast and you're making some really light meals, and I promised that I would make a video showing you my spinach pie recipe. I wanted to do it yesterday, but literally this weather had me like down and out. I was on the couch all day. I didn't move. My beautiful daughters took care of me all day. I was not feeling my greatest, but I'm back at it today, and I have 15 more days left before I'm out of Michigan. And I thought I would hop on and show you this really simple spinach pie recipe. Spinach pie with tzatziki is one of my all-time favorite things to eat. I absolutely love it. Love spinach pie. And I remember I used to work in this Greek restaurant when I was in my 20s and called Alex's. All through college, I waitressed. So I used to always get the spinach pie, and it was so good. And now I know how to make it, so I can make it whenever I want, and it's super easy. A lot of people are intimidated by it, but you shouldn't be. It's real easy. Okay, so the most important thing is dill. To me, in this recipe, you have to have some fresh dill. Now, what I normally do is when I buy dill, I'll wrap it in paper towel and I'll put it in the freezer so that whenever I want it, it's there. Because if you leave it in your fridge, sometimes it goes bad. So I'll freeze it, and then I have fresh dill whenever I want, and I just chop it up. You also need a cheesecloth or a very clean towel for your spinach. You're going to be using, you can either use frozen spinach, but you're going to have to let it thaw. I used canned. I used two 14-ounce cans of spinach. I put them in a strainer like this to let most of the water get out, but spinach from the can is there's a lot of liquid in it. So you need yourself a good cheesecloth or a good clean towel. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your spinach. You can just see the water like seeping out of this, right? And I'm going to wrap my spinach. I'll probably do it in sections, okay? I'm going to wrap it in this towel. Now watch. Do you see all that water coming out? All that liquid that's still in the spinach, you have to get that out, okay? That's the most important thing. Otherwise, you're going to have really soggy spinach pie, and you're not going to enjoy it, trust me, okay? Ask me how I know that. Yeah, I learned the hard way, right? So make sure, and look at, I've been squeezing it, and you can still see there's a lot of liquid, okay? So when I'm done squeezing it and I open that towel, I'm going to have like a nice firm ball of spinach that doesn't have any of the liquid in it. I'm going to put that in my bowl, and I'm going to get my other. Now, spinach is one of those things, you know, you buy that big bag of spinach and you cook it and you end up with like a cup of it. It cooks down like a lot, right? So make sure you don't skimp on the spinach. Use 2 cups. I don't know about you guys, but February has been brutal. Like, you can hear that I can barely breathe. My nose has been so plugged up, but so runny, and it's driving me crazy. Poor Robbie. I walk around with, tissues stuck up my nose half the time because I'm going crazy with this runny nose. Okay, now, look, all right? It's nice and dry, okay? So now you're done with that spinach. Let me rinse my hands off. So the spinach you put in that bowl, it's like, there's no water, right? So when I pull it apart, it's easy to pull apart and there's no liquid in there. Most important step in the whole process, get all the liquid out, okay? Preheated my oven over here to 375, all right? Now, we're gonna add, I think this is 8 ounces of feta cheese, okay? Get the good feta, don't get like the low fat kind. Come on, you're making spinach pie. Don't skip out on the feta, right? All right, so we're gonna do an 8-ounce container of feta cheese. My favorite part. I love feta in omelets. Oh my God, I love a Greek omelet. But not with the meat, just with like tomato and spinach and everything. Okay, feta and spinach. 2 cans of spinach, 1 8-ounce container of feta. We're gonna add 2 eggs. This is for our filling, okay? You've gotta make sure that you have your phyllo dough, okay? I just bought frozen phyllo, and it comes, you guys already know this, but it comes like this, and you need to let it set out defrost. While you're preparing your filling, put it out on the counter and let it defrost so that you can unroll it easily and it won't tear or rip. If it's already defrosted, make sure you put a wet towel over your phyllo to keep it moist so that it doesn't crack. I'm letting mine thaw out. It's still a little bit on the frozen side, so I'm gonna leave it on the side, okay? So, okay, I put my 2 eggs and my feta and my 2 cans of spinach. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. About a teaspoon, okay, of garlic powder. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of salt, and about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. This is a really good, I think for the fast, this meal doesn't feel too heavy when you have it, so I think you guys will enjoy it. So about a half a teaspoon of the black pepper, and we're gonna make tzatziki to go with this too, you guys. In here, I have 3 tablespoons of fresh parsley that I chopped up. Okay, about 3 tablespoons. We're gonna add that in. Most important ingredient in the spinach pie. If you don't have dill, you might as well not make it. Go buy dill, fresh dill, okay? Because you're gonna need it for the tzatziki and you're gonna need it for your spinach pie. Dill smells amazing. Okay, so I have 3 tablespoons of chopped dill. Into the bowl it goes, and I want every bit of it out of there. Love it. Okay, we also need a cup of mozzarella cheese. You can use Monterey Jack, any kind of white cheese that you think you'll like. You can use mozzarella. It's kind of a more mild cheese, and I like it in this recipe. So you're gonna need about 8 ounces or a cup of the mozzarella in there. A little bit extra, never hurt anybody. All right, so that, and then you need 15 ounces of ricotta. Again, don't do the low fat, okay? We're not here for, like a health contest. We're making spinach pie, for God's sakes. Put in the whole fat ricotta. I promise you, it's gonna make such a good difference. I know there's some really wonderful ladies out there that make all these amazing, healthy recipes. I admire you so much. You have no idea, but I am gonna make my spinach pie the way I like it, okay? And that's with the full fat ricotta and the full fat feta. Sometimes, wait, what did I open here? Yep, I did open ricotta. Wanted to make sure I didn't open sour cream. Okay, I can't get that off. Okay, now let me get a spoon. Okay. Ricotta. Ricotta, delish. Okay, we're gonna put the ricotta in there. Almost looks sour cream, doesn't it? Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. And then the last step, okay, for our filling is going to be some onions and garlic, all right? So I'm gonna take my pan, and you don't wanna put the onion in there raw because it is going to stay like crunchy. So you're gonna want to just saute them a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put some olive oil in here, just about a tablespoon of olive oil in this pan. Put it over like a medium. And I'm just gonna saute them enough to kind of make them tender, to make them translucent, okay? So here I have 3 green onions that I chopped up, 3 whole green onions with the white part, and then a half of a white onion. It was pretty big, so that's why I used half. If you have a smaller onion, use the whole thing. But if you have a kind of large onion, just use half of it because you're gonna add the 3 green onion as well. And so I'm just gonna let that oil heat, and we're gonna put them all in there. All the onion is gonna go right in the pan. And we're just gonna give it like a 5-minute saute here. And I'm gonna add a teaspoon of minced garlic to this as well, but in just a minute because I don't want to scorch the garlic. So I'm gonna go saute this, and I'll be right back when it's done to finish this up with you. Okay, so I sauteed the white onion and the green onion together. I put in a teaspoon of minced garlic. You can chop fresh, but I just have this minced garlic in the fridge. It's easier on my life. Now I let them cool just a bit before I add them to my filling, all right? Just a little bit. Let them sit for a few minutes till they're not scorching hot. Go ahead and dump them in there. Let's get rid of that. Guys, so easy. right? Okay, now I'm just gonna mix all that filling together. It smells good already. I can smell the dill and the onion. Oh, love it. Can't wait to dig in. Quite honestly, spinach pie is probably not Roddy's favorite thing to eat, but he still enjoys this quite a bit. For not being a huge fan of spinach pie, he puts a nice dent in it. Okay, so here we go. But if you're a spinach pie fan, I promise you, you're gonna love this. Okay, here we go. Just give it, make sure it's all mixed in there. Really, really good. And that's kind of how your filling is gonna look, right? Just like that. Now, my oven's preheated to 375. I have a 9x13. I've sprayed it with cooking spray, very, very important. I have some olive oil in this little dish and a pastry brush. You can use butter. If you prefer butter, melt some butter and you can brush the phyllo with that. I promise you, olive oil works amazing, okay? So it's just easier than going through melting. Over here, you probably can't see because I have it off to the side. I have my phyllo, right? And I'm gonna grab about 3 sheets of phyllo dough. Uh-oh, I dropped one. I'm gonna put the phyllo down in my pan. It doesn't have to be super neat, you guys, okay? Because this phyllo is just a little bit bigger than my pan, which is fine. You can cut off the edges, you can do whatever you want. Okay, you can trim around and just cut off those edges. You can use a pair of kitchen scissors or whatever. I'm gonna add one more layer here in a second. Push it up against the wall here. You don't want it to come up all the way, so if you need to trim it, we could probably use half a piece of that. I'm gonna take my pastry brush and just give it a good brush over the phyllo, and then I'm gonna add another layer. I dropped one piece of phyllo. Crazy. You know what I think I'm gonna do is, because these are long sheets, I'm gonna fold it in half like that. And I'm gonna put it right in the bottom so I have a nice crust on the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'm just gonna trim off the top. You guys can use scissors, you can just tear it off. The top layer is gonna be pretty. I'll fold it in half. We won't do this, because these sheets are a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. Now, just brush your olive oil. You want to make sure that you get a good amount of oil on your phyllo to make it crispy, okay? Just brush it in there, brush all the layers. You don't have to do layer by layer. You can do a couple sheets at a time and still get great results. I make my part of plow the same way with this method, where I use a couple sheets at a time, and it turns out really, really good. Okay. So now I brushed my olive oil, and I have about 4 sheets of phyllo layered on the bottom. If you want it a little thicker, you can. Okay, now I'm gonna put my filling in. I got these bigger sheets by accident. I thought they were the smaller phyllo sheets, but that's okay. Now we're just gonna spread our spinach mixture in there. Make sure you kind of spread it out evenly into the pan. It's gonna be so good. And it's so quick. It really doesn't take a long time like you would think, right? Put that on the side. And we're gonna make tzatziki too. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm just gonna fold that down so it looks a little bit nicer, neater. Okay, and now we're gonna add our top phyllo. I'm gonna take these sheets and I'm gonna fold it in half. And I'm gonna put it right on the top like that. Now that I have it on top, do this. I'm just going to brush in between these ones since I'm doubling up the layer so that I get a nice crisp topping. And you're going to end up putting about the same amount of sheets on the top, about 4 sheets of phyllo on the top of your spinach pie. I really wish I had a camera like above so you guys could really see, okay? If you get the larger sheet of phyllo, just fold it. Just fold it so you can make it look nice and neat when it comes out of your oven. Give it a good brush with your olive oil, and it's going to cook up great. These are paper thin, crunchy, and crispy when you take them out. let's do one more. I'm gonna do one more because I like the phyllo a lot. So I have one thin sheet, okay? And I'm just gonna put it in and brush this half. I probably had a quarter cup of olive oil that I used. Okay, now let's fold it down. My kids like this too. You know, most kids don't like spinach, but my kids really like. Of course, we pile on the tzatziki with the cucumber and the dill in it, and it makes it even better, right? Serve it with a little fresh cut tomatoes or a small Greek salad. Delicious. Okay, brush it really good. And it's gonna go in the oven about 45 minutes. And then you'll see the top getting really nice and golden brown. 45 minutes at a 375 degree oven, you should be good. Let's just make sure we have a nice coating of the olive oil all along the edges here. And really make sure that you've sprayed your baking dish so that it doesn't stick to the bottom, okay? So there it is. It's all in my pan. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stick it in the oven for 45 minutes. We'll come back, we'll check it out, and I'm gonna show you how to make the tzatziki. Okay, so now while the spinach pie is cooking away in the oven, we're gonna make the tzatziki to go with it. Tzatziki is full of cucumbers and fresh dill and yogurt, and you just spoon it on top of that spinach pie, and it makes it so good. Like, tzatziki is one of those things I can just like, I can eat it with anything. It's like hummus. I can dip chips in it or vegetables or whatever, okay? It's so good. So what you wanna do is you wanna get a whole cucumber, wash it really good, and then take a spoon and take out all the seeds, all right? All the flesh and the seeds. Leave a little bit of flesh, of course, in there, but just get enough to get the seeds out. And then you're gonna chop it up kind of small. You can grate it if you want, okay? You could grate it. It just takes longer, and I think it gets kind of watery that way. So that's why I don't grate it. Last time I did it, like, you know, with the grater, I thought it got too watery. So you're gonna chop up your cucumber, okay, kind of small as you can, into little bite-sized pieces, right? And I have 3 cloves of garlic. If you like it extra garlicky, add another clove. 3 is pretty good though. I think 3 is like sufficient. Now you're gonna need your dill, more dill, fresh dill, okay? So I always say buy it, freeze it, put it in the freezer, and then you have it when you want it. All right, 3 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna give those a nice chop. And I have some plain Greek yogurt, not the light, but just the regular whole fat yogurt. Sometimes the light ones kind of tend to be kind of watery and not quite as thick, and I like my tzatziki a little bit on the thicker, not so watery side. Chop up the garlic really good, because you don't want like a big chunk, somebody to bite into a big chunk of garlic. That's not pleasant. But if it's small and they get just the right portion with that cucumber, can't go wrong. Delish. All right, I'm almost done. Done. 15 more days, and I have so much to do in those 15 days. I'm getting a little emotional about it, to be honest with you. I'm excited, but getting a little emotional. I'm going to miss a lot of people, and it's hard to say, you know, goodbye. So speaking of goodbyes, today would have been my mom's 77th birthday. And, you know, there was a time that I couldn't even like be normal on this day because my heart hurts so bad, and it still hurts. But like now I think about all the amazing things she did for me as a mother. And I remember all of our special times together, and it makes me feel like I was very lucky to have such an amazing mom. So happy birthday, Mom. All right, so that's all chopped up, right? And we're gonna need 2 cups of the yogurt, okay? I always have to use a knife to cut these because they make them so hard to get into, right? All right, let's give it a good stir because it's going to be a little liquidy on the top there. Inevitably, I always get it all over the counter. Okay. I just cannot seem to get rid of this cold or whatever it is. It's driving me bananas. All right, so we're gonna measure out 2 cups of the yogurt and put them in a little bowl here. I'm just using that same bowl I rinsed it out that I did my filling in. Let's do one more cup of yogurt. There we go. I use this yogurt for a lot of things. Like when I make fresh naan bread, I use yogurt in it, and it keeps it really soft and fluffy. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna take our garlic, throw it on in there, and all of our cucumber. Whoa. All our cucumber. Put it on in there. And then I let this sit in the fridge to get cold because I like it when it's really, really cold. You're going to use about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. Your tablespoon of fresh dill. I might have put just a skinch more because I love the taste of dill. We're going to do about a teaspoon of salt in there. A little bit of black pepper, about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, just about a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. There we go. And lemon. We definitely need some fresh lemon. You're going to do the juice of 1 whole lemon. And I roll my lemon on the counter like this, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier to squeeze out. Grace was so sweet from this page. She brought me over a lemon squeezer, right? One day she just showed up at my door and had this lemon squeezer for me, and it made me the happiest person, right? I'm using it one day, I didn't realize my own strength, and I broke the damn thing. So I'm back to this. I haven't gone and bought a new one yet. But anyways, just squeeze the juice into the tzatziki. As much as you can get out of there. This is a nice lemon. There's hardly any seeds in there. Okay. I love lemon. And you need that acid in here, right? Okay, that's good. And then you'll taste it, and if you want to adjust it and add maybe just a little bit more, you can definitely do that. Now I'm just going to mix it all up. Oh, yeah. It smells amazing. See, if I use that thinner yogurt, it would be super watery, and I don't want that. Okay. That's it. That's your tzatziki. And some people really like that cucumber like shredded down in there because they like it smooth. I don't mind the chunks of cucumber in there. It doesn't bother me at all. Okay, just want to mix it really good. And then I'm going to cover it. I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it get cold. But I want to give it a taste. Perfect. Perfect amount of garlic. I wouldn't add any more. It has just the right bite to it. Okay? Speaking of bite, I just bit the hell out of the side of my mouth. Don't you hate it when you do that and then you keep biting the same spot? Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, that's it. That's the tzatziki. I'm going to go throw it in the fridge. I'm going to cover it, throw it in the fridge, and then this is almost done. And I'm going to bring it out and I'm going to show you guys how gorgeous it is. So I'll be back when it's all done. Okay, 45 minutes is up and the spinach pie is done. And it's gorgeous, you guys. It's beautiful golden brown. I've let it set for probably about 25 minutes to cool. I just want to, actually, yeah, it's still a little bit hot. I'm going to show you. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how golden brown it is. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of it just to show you guys how pretty it is. And hopefully I let it cool just enough, right? I'm going to cut a piece of it here. So you can hear the crunch of the phyllo. Oh, wow, you guys, I'm super excited to taste it. Let me see how neatly I can get it out of this pan. All right, here we go. Oh, yes. Look at that. Okay, check it out. Look at that. It looks great. Come and say hi, Ava. Ava likes my spinach pie. Look at, what do you think? It looks good. Let's give it a taste. You want to taste it, Mommy? It's super hot though, okay? So I got my tzatziki. I have a fork. Here we go. Let's give this a stir. I'll put it on the side, okay? Or you want it on top? It doesn't matter. Okay, let's just put it on the side. So that, okay, look at that. Look at, oh, you guys. I cannot wait. I'll let you taste first. Here, I'm gonna taste first. It's a little bit crunchy. That's okay. It's super hot. She's been waiting like a hawk over my oven to see. Hot, hot, hot. Good. Here we go. You know I'm dying to taste it.
That's really good.
Is it really good? All right. Super easy to make, you guys. See, it takes you about, maybe 45 minutes or so. It takes longer to cook it than it does to make it. Here we go.
It tastes really good.
Does it? Here we go. And I like the tzatziki, a lot of it.
It tastes good with tzatziki. It tastes.
Girl. That is good. Huh?
Yeah.
That fresh dill is
Really?
amazing. Amazing. You can really taste the dill, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Spinach pie. Super easy. Perfect for a light meal. Add some tomatoes maybe around it.
Yeah.
Or a nice Greek salad. And you got yourself a beautiful meal. So any questions, shoot me a message. I always like to try to help if I can. Love you guys. A wafi. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.